to these two teams. An opportunity still presents itself to go to phase 2. For the loser now of this map, you do go home, unfortunately. We've seen some really nice things, of course, from both Northeption and Reven, but only one gets to go through.
Yeah, this has been quite the series. I think both teams have shown some brilliance. They've also shown their weaknesses throughout the first two maps. And going to Chalet, I gotta say, it's a pretty neutral territory for both of these teams. So I couldn't think of a better map to close this series out.
Yeah, all I can think about is Joe running out, doing something crazy on the attack for Reven. I can also probably see the likes of Nina and Sharif really utilizing the map's ability to get around, bit of lurking, bit of roaming, find those contact fights. It's quite saddening. We do have to say goodbye to one of these two teams. Of course, Reven, I thought they played really well earlier today against Sonics, that being a loss that they were quite competitive in. Obviously for Northeption, they've bounced back from their loss, of course, to Reven. They obviously defeated La Vega pretty comfortably, and from here, they've done well. 7-1 on Skyscraper, but then losing 7-4 on Oregon. So similar result to the Oregon of day number 1 for these two teams, just the 1 round difference. But as we head into this final one, who have you got, Guz?
Oh.
You got to pick between the two of them, Reven, Northeption. Who have you got?
You know me, you know I want to sit on that fence. This is hard. I think Northeption, I think my 2-1 prediction of Northeption still holds up, but Reven have shown some really good promise. And we've got to keep in mind that this is the team that finished, what, 3rd in the regular season of Japan Northeption against a team from the LATAM League who are really doing a good job here in the first phase. So I think Northeption will still just edge out, but Reven have showed enough to be highly, highly competitive, and it would not surprise me if they're the ones walking away into the second phase.
Yeah, I think I'm going to turn coat. I think I'm going all out on Reven here. I think I liked what they saw in Oregon. More of a conventional map. Skyscraper to me felt more like a pocket pick in favor of Northeption. Yeah, they absolutely decimated Reven 7-1. I don't know if we're going to see anything like that here on Chalet. I think Chalet more likely to play out like Oregon than it would Skyscraper. Regardless, you're still shaking your head.
I'm like a disappointed dad. I'm not mad, I'm just
disappointed.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about APAC.
I don't think I want to sit...
Although I am a little mad.
I don't think I want to sit next to you on the 20-hour flight home now.
Yeah, it is 20 hours. For a second, I was like, actually, it's 24, but we have like a layover.
Yeah, close enough.
Obviously, coming into this one, though, this is when the nerves really start to get to the players. The adrenaline that rushes through them as well. It's do or die. And this is it. Make or break. You go home. If you lose this one, every round is going to be so important. So I think Northeption will be defending first on Chalet, which means Reven, they'll get to attack first. And from there, you would imagine Chalet... I don't know how to actually frame this one. Attacker side, defender side. I think we just take it as it is, round by round, regardless of the sides.
Yeah, it's got to be a round by round approach, I think, for us, the viewers at home, the teams inside of the server, because it has been a decently closely matched series thus far, where each team has looked proficient on their map pick. Now we sort of enter the unknown a little bit, because Chalet, there isn't an absolute ton of or wealth of data to really go off that's going to be meaningful for this particular head-to-head. So I think it comes down to us looking at these key players and the teams as a whole, and do they extract the same positives that we saw, right? Northeption on Skyscraper, some of the positives they showed, and then over on Oregon for Reven. On the flip side, what negatives might leak through the cracks here on this third map, especially I think when the pressure begins to mount. The first couple of rounds, it's probably going to be, yeah, whatever. When these teams start to realize what's really on the line towards the back end of this third map, that's when you either make it or break it.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you get to like a 4-4 or a 5-5 kind of scoreline, last couple of rounds, second half, those rounds are going to be so critical as we head into this one on Chalet. Northeption, Reven, APAC, LATAM. It is basically now a best of 1 to see who moves forward to phase 2 and who, unfortunately, has to leave the Copenhagen Major. It is Dockerby once again banned out. I'm probably not expecting too many changes in terms of the bans. Reven, I've very much looked to probably get rid of the likes of Ying, Azami. Yeah.
It should be Azami. I mean,
if it's not Azami, it's Valkyrie. And if it's not Valkyrie, it's Azami.
And if it's neither of them, it's Mirror. Yeah. For Northeption.
No, only for Northeption.
Well, we'll see what happens. Reven locking in the Azami, so yeah, as expected. I don't necessarily think we'll see the Mirror banned out once again here by Northeption.
I could see it happening, but it'll most likely be the Valkyrie.
I would assume so.
Hedge your bets.
Yeah.
It is the Valkyrie. Yeah, those real surprises. So keeping it rather default in terms of the ban phase for these two teams. No messing around here in what is both a qualifier match and an elimination match. Those are always my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, because one team is like super happy and one team is super sad.
Oh.
Oh, actually, now that I've
That was
said
a little bit grim.
Yeah, no. Well, no, we don't see Grim here.
Ah.
Although there was one player that hovered over it.
If we see Grim at this tournament, I would be shocked.
All right, let's get underway. This is the final map of this best of 3 from Group C to see who is joining the Sonics from this group, either Northeption or Reven. Do we finally see some success for APAC, or is it more misery awaiting the region?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I'll come for APAC once again.
Oh no. Okay, we're gonna lock in. I mean, you already said Reven's gonna win this one, so I don't know what you're laughing about. I'm on the Northeption train, but I think it will be close. Yeah, Snow Wine first up, round number 1. Northeption to confirm on the defense. But this is going to be a back and forth game. It's been a back and forth contest throughout this series. So the castle being brought out here, it's an aggressive extension from Northeption. Some teams will loiter around the map for a bit of presence, but this is taking it to the absolute extreme.
Drone active.
And as we kind of hover over Sharif, dare I say it, definitely struggled on Oregon. Especially after basically equal top fragging on Skyscraper. Very talented player for Northeption, definitely part of their win condition arsenal. They need him to do well. And he struggled on Oregon. Nina, of course, 25 kills through the first 2 maps. And I think they're gonna require Nina to go big once again if Northeption are to find victory here. Whereas Reven, to me, are a little bit more spread in their approach. You know, Joe, you'll let him do the aggressive stuff, the run out. Sam, really strong defensively on site. Draw can get some good flanking options. They're, to me, a very well-balanced team.
Well, they're...
And that's not even including Runner.
Yeah. He's been a bit up and down, but when he activates, he can be really, really dangerous. So important Northeption do tame him. So it's a library sweep across for a basement attack. Nina catches Joe off guard. Bottom West Main just chilling out. Gets called out.
Let's see what I can find.
Well, it's these kind of rounds as well. I think Northeption, I think they'll back themselves in where it'll be a little bit similar to Skyscraper. Early contact fights across the map, not on site. So not really too much of a surprise if we see Northeption get some success here on a map like, or on a site like Snow Wine. Obviously, yes, Joe lost his light, but Sharif, again, struggling to make an impact. Ever since Skyscraper has not really got involved as one of the top players for Northeption. He has been firmly shut down.
The question now is, have Northeption wasted enough time with a minute to go? How much disruption have they been able to achieve? Snowmobile's still open, or is open rather. Wrath has the diffuser in hand. They could potentially go for a plant bot main stairs. It may be tricky for Northeption to deny that, who still have eyes for a west main push. I doubt that will be the player's runner. It's all the way into Con.
35 seconds. Are they even remotely aware of his position? The answer to that is very much a no. Wrath looking to get their plant down, and if anyone swings in here through Con, they are going to lose their life pretty quickly. Gaspe out, that's going to be up close and personal. Nice win for Sayachan. After Runner did get at least 1 free kill onto Feber, but the plant down, and this is a very difficult site to get the retake.
Even in a 3v2, they'll need to stack bodies up above, go for run-outs, jump-outs at the same time. And that's before they even clear the site. Finally clear. Sayachan up close. Walking into the cross, Nina will want to vault out and try and find a pick in the meantime.
Body block? Are they going for a body block?
Yuki's to cover. Can the shots land for Reven? Sayachan able to stick up close. Yuki's just covers and Northeption claim the round.
Oh, they're bundled at Reven. Just too slow in trying to take the contact there. They needed to double swing at the same time, especially when there wasn't a whole lot of pressure up above from the window. Really good, though, from Northeption to understand you just got to stick it. There's 2 ways you can probably go about it. The stick with the bodyguard or the run-outs, the jump-outs, try and take from above. They went for the latter, and in the end, it worked. But credit to Reven to even get the plant down on Snow Wine outside the breach. From there, you can hold. Usually from there, you win. But they've thrown it.
I mean, Yuki just lands that shot and just blocked enough damage. I think that spray there from Reven would have been enough to win the round. You know what's funny about that reaction is I remember you...
It's just gone Super Saiyan.
I remember you on the previous map saying, Oh yeah, Northeption, they get a bit excited, but not too much.
Well, that is an exception. You're allowed to get excited for that kind of round. Snow Wine retakes, never that easy, never that common.
You gave him the permission slip.
Yeah, let him go. Super Saiyan 1 there. All right, 1-0 start for Northeption on Chalet, but Reven definitely competitive in that round. This is not going to be a given. This is not going to be a freebie. So over to bedroom and office now for the second round. All eyes probably on Joe again on the entry, looking to find these kills, the lurk. Lost the battle over towards bot west main in the last round to Nina. And straight away, Joe, well, there you go. There's the revenge. Finds the kill onto Nina this time. He wins out in the second round, gets a good drone in as well. So Office quite vulnerable.
Bit of info available, but Sayachan up close. The grenade, it's red.
Joe!
But Joe just swings it anyway, finds the pick, and it's a 5v3 in favor of Reven.
Well, he's been so up and down, but his ups are so impactful, right? He doesn't just get those stat pad kills. Draw with the nade as well, looking to clear out this solid position. Up close, creeping at the window, freebie. Oh, Reven have just decimated Northeption in this round. 5 versus 1, this one's over. It's 1-1. What a flawless round from Reven, all started from Joe.
Yeah, Northeption getting slapped back into reality there in the second round. Good display from Reven. And they're not even getting that excited. They're just like, yeah, that's another day in the office for us on Chalet. Show us what you've got in round 3.
Yeah, I mean, that was absolutely clinical. Fast, precise, straight towards sight. And it all started with Joe, as I think a lot of these rounds in this series have, for better or for worse.
Frag out.
And the timing of the frag, because Sayachan wanted to actually peek swing that, and had he actually committed, I think he gets the kill. Yeah. Instead, he actually turns tail, runs back towards half 4, straight towards the nade.
I'm Pedro.
What did he say? I thought he said, I'm that Joe.
Like, it's a good round, I figured that. I don't know.
So 1-1, all tied. And our deciding map.
We go to dining.
Yeah.
Are they going to go for the sense strat through the drone hole? That is my big question. Thank you, observers, for pointing it out. So that drone hole on the eastern side, post up the sense out there, throw the ROUs across, and then you can't deny the long lines of sight. Warden not picked by the defense. Nina is on the Solus though, so that may aid a little bit, depending on where he wants to play, especially if Reven don't contest up above, but I would assume they will.
And yeah, no glads as well. It can get picked in with this lineup with the ROUs, a couple of smokes as well, especially if you can open up dining down below. You can get some really good sight lines, and then you can kind of cut them all off with the smokes and, yeah, obviously the ROU. So we'll see if this works, because I feel like this is the kind of play Northeption would actually probably see quite a lot of in the Japan League.
Probably.
Set device.
It may be a variant of it anyway. Don't know exactly where Draw is going to want to play the sense and at what point in the round. Again, assuming late round for default dining. But Wrath may have some issues with hard breach depending on how that's cleared. ROUs are being deployed elsewhere though. Nina sneaks up the stairs and catches Joe off guard.
It's the Nina and Joe show. They're one apiece now though with that kill. It means Nina goes up 2-1 in their little battle.
Swapping.
And it's going to add a lot as well to the complexity of this game. There goes one of the ROUs. Obviously, those battles between Nina and Joe really kind of open up the maps for their respective teams now. You get rid of one of the main lurkers for Reven or roamers, and obviously if Joe gets a kill onto Nina, well, he's one of those lurkers, obviously for Northeption. Just over 90 seconds left. And obviously seeing the first ROU go over towards Trophy, so I don't know if they're actually going to go for that play actually towards dining side with the ROUs.
Probably not at this point. Nina still running a riot.
Oh, well, no more.
That confirms it. Draw down. So now Northeption, they flip it once again. Nina runs out. Runner just squashes him from above.
He's just landed on him. Sat on his head. It's like in Mario when you just jump up, get the little Koopa Trooper. Well, minute left, 4 versus 3. Northeption still have the player advantage. Red ping out. Sharif standing in the window with Sam. With open arms, he'll take a couple of bullets, and Reven's round, well, definitely not looking anything close to what we saw in the last one. Nice little entry, though, in towards Bathroom for Wrath. Has got a little bit of piano control along with Runner. They can actually sort of just tag team up on towards site, double stack, and look to overwhelm where they can. Get a couple of 2v1s. in the 3v2, and they do. Wrath gets rid of Yukis. This is super winnable now for Reven.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Runner, Wrath, full HP. Sayo-chan still with 2 gas canisters in favor with a deep angle.
They can have the 1 down, 1 above strat here as well late in the round. So they can, if they can get the plant down, basically, I think they win the round. But still, 2v2, taking a risk here by keeping 1 above. To be fair, obviously can drop down. 10 seconds left. Fever just tucks in towards dining. Doesn't move too far. There's the drop. It's a prone drop, and Sayo-chan was ready for it in the kitchen hallway. That's a round win indeed for Northeption. A little messy, not quite as clinical, but you'll take any round you can get in this deciding map.
Yeah, the player up above was the one with the kit, so it was going to be tough. And Northeption don't give away a critical pick there late into the round. They back themselves in the 2 versus 2. Chaotic beginning to the round, though. Nina jogging around Chalet, got the first 2 kills. Aggressive, and Runner just goes, boop, gets that one back, but damage really had already been done, and Reven on the roam clear found it tricky.
Yeah, and I do wonder if it's a mistake from Reven to not go for any semblance of sort of roam clear, especially with Nina and the way that he's been playing. No pressure library. It's not like there was anyone. I honestly think it's like Joe probably can't go that direct. He probably needs to try and battle him towards Snow White, eventually up either library or West Main, take those kind of fights, because you know Nina's going to probably go for those kind of roams, those kind of lurks. So 2-1 lead for Northeption. And as we kind of said in the pre-show for this particular map, I think you just take it 1 round at a time. I don't think we're sitting here saying defender-sided or attacker-sided. I look at it as probably like a 3-3 kind of half. That kind of mentality needs to be had for both of these 2 teams. And it just means every round is so important. Nina and Joe, they are tied at the hip.
They just seem to have locked eyes in this map.
Formed a bond.
Yeah. There's a bit of separation anxiety between the 2, especially in the early round.
They just seek each other down.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for Joe, though, they had half health, so not quite a fair fight from here on out for the rest of this round. If he is looking to take down his good friend in Nina.
Who also just took down his drone.
Yeah. It's very difficult for poor Joe. I'm sure Joe will do the same in the second half as well. Still on the repel. Nina, though, towards Solar. And a good drone down below as well, catching out Yukiz, not aware that this drone has made its way in towards dining and caught another as well, tucked into sight. Here comes Runner, though, looking to try and get the kill over towards Piano. Sharif's got to be careful, and he runs away.
A little bit unlucky there for Runner. Good game sense to go for the spray, but it doesn't quite connect. Joe, still double window. A powerful cross here on Chalet that is looking to lock down to pinch out Sharif, who's struggling in this match. He swings wide.
Oh,
they
Sharif's
both
got a
trade blows. Runner eventually gets the pick from the balcony. Nina elsewhere. On to Joe, down in trophy.
Scoreline, 3-1 to Nina. But Sharif's, I don't know what's going on with Sharif. Now 1-4, and he had an absolute eternity to get the trade onto Joe, who was half health on the rappel, just sitting in the window. I mean, it was body shots from Joe onto Sharif. He had all the chances to get the trade. Sharif is firmly just not really offering a whole lot at the moment for Northeption, so it's all on Nina to provide that extra firepower. Mira gets opened up by draw above. Minute left, 4 versus 4. This is a very even round.
And keep in mind, this is basement, so there's been a lot of action on the top floor for the map clear here from Reven. Still 4 versus 4 with 50 seconds on the clock. Northeption are just consolidating their position on site, weathering the utility from up above. There's a pre-placed Nitro as well available, so Drone needs to be careful. Nina, though, continuing to find picks, find kills, and now we'll just sit in games. Reven trying to clear him, but they don't have a lot of time.
They have to clear him, though. Otherwise, he's just going to have... Oh, my God, Wrath! Oh, what a headshot! Little one-tap through the wall. That will deal with it quickly. Over towards Fireplace Stairs now. Wrath will push, Draw will get a big kill onto Fever, opens things up over towards Blue. The nade as well. Yukis has to push forward. Does he know he's tucked in left side? No, he does not. Reven are about to steal this round on left side. He gets a 9. He does with the SMG 11. Sayo-chan goes nuclear to save it for Northeption.
Oh my God. allowed into Con.
Oh my God!
The smoke dissipates, he finds the denial, he looks at the time and says, all I need to do is survive. He does exactly that, finds one with the shotgun as he falls back, and Reven, time was the issue.
Oh, was it though? They looked good. They had dealt with the game's lurk. They'd pushed down Fireplace rather comfortably. They got themselves into a good position to get that plant down inside of the smoke. To even be at that position in the round, what a tap. I mean, that's just silly. Now 1 versus 3. Oh, Sayachan. And if he doesn't kill Draw there, Draw kills him, that's it, they win the round. So, I mean, that's something special from Sayachan, but I thought Reven had done enough to turn the tide, so it was kind of just like, I don't know, both teams had a semblance of hope that they were going to win that round until Northeption just snatched it away from Reven. 3-1 lead. And they get some separation here on Chalet now, 2 rounds above Reven.
How did Reven respond then? Probably a frustrating round. They were locking down probably the right positions there. It was just the fact that the play was already inside of Con that meant that Reven, during the plant, found it very, very difficult to secure it. They'll need to refocus now. Northeption, as you mentioned, for the first time in this match, have gained a lead, a 2-round lead. It's been so back and forth in this match so far. Map 3 of this series, winner stays, the loser goes home.
Yeah, it is that cut and dry. On the solar rappel, Fever just watching top trophy stairs. 3-1, Reven would have felt like they had that round, that last one, to make it 2-2. Fall short in a match where every round is going to be so important. Northeption edged one out. Good drone work. 3 destroyed, and it's Joe, but he finds Fever. He doesn't find Nina. I don't think he cares at this point who he finds, although Nina with the run out, he'll get traded. That's a 1-for-1. Draw gets that kill. Sam, though, found a kill into Sayachan, so Reven have got an advantage. And Joe all the way through. Sharif aggressive. Can he get the trade from the hallway position? It's a big fight, can't win it. Joe just goes nuts in that round. Reven get the response that they wanted.
Yeah, a swift response at that. Very quick, very snappy round there from Reven. Couple of desperate attempts there from Northeption to bring it back, namely outside of Solar. But they were ready for it. Reven, they pounce back. Pounce back, bounce back. Bit of both in that round.
Like a prowling tiger, they pounce back.
Yeah. I was also Northeption trying to pounce, and then Reven caught them in their trap.
Yeah, big round win. And then again, it all starts with Joe. Hate to say it, but he's the one that just keeps finding those early kills. Now, Nina, from that kind of vision, probably, you look at it and you think, he's got to get 2 there on the rappel outside Solo. Doesn't, only got the 1, gets traded. And obviously, Sayachan lost his life on sight. From there, Reven had the numbers they could overwhelm. Can't criticize Nina too much, though. He's up to 31 kills now in the series, so he's gone and above average 10+ in all 3 maps now. Sharif, 1 and 5, continues to struggle.
5 seconds to go.
Whereas Reven's still across the board. It's a more spread, even amount of kills, so I just kind of feel more of that team synergy from Reven, especially on the attack. 1 round to go in the half. I said 3-3 was probably the metric here. We'll see if Reven can get to that target.
Jeez. Joe must be young. I don't know how he's flicking like that. My word. That's a sign of a good entry. Now Reven will direct their presence straight away to top floor. Double window, castle barricade dealt with, and the rest of the team positioning over towards piano, balk, bathroom, balk as well. Draw posts up. And now it's up to the rest of the team to try and force these defenders either back towards site or into these crossfires. The wild card, once again though, for Northeption, it's Nina on the Solace, roaming around. And what is this? Let him cook. Sharif down below. I thought perhaps prepping for a run out, but instead we'll maybe link up with Nina.
Yeah, I don't know about Sharif's cooking right now. It's not something I want to taste because he's 1 and 5, but you know, maybe there's a chance he can get back into this one. Minute 40. Again, kind of feels like it's all eyes on Nina. Can he make something happen for Northeption? Without him, there's not really anyone else that's fragging out. Over towards Mud. Oh, he's going to lose his life. Joe's waiting for him. The Joe Nina show continues. This time, though, Joe will get some revenge. It's a big, big round. Final round of the half, and Reven have got themselves an advantage. What is Sharif? Is he going? Oh, Sharif!
Oh.
He is that guy!
Oh.
He cooked, but not enough. Not for long. It's still frozen.
It's like when Mum comes home and you forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer.
Oh, no. That's
Oh, not another one.
Oh, Fever goes for it as well. Well, if it didn't work the first 2 times, maybe the 3rd time it might. He thinks better of it back through Mud, but this round, yeah, to be fair, if they don't actually do these kind of strats, that might not work for them later in the round. Santa trophy, it's only Fever that's left. Yeah, Yuka's got the kill eventually onto Joe, but there's too much work for Fever to do in this round. 3-3 will be the target met now for Reven. Both teams are 4 rounds away from heading to phase 2. It is very much heading into that stressed environment of a second half that we were talking about, whether it's a 4-4, 5-5 scoreline. These rounds are so critical.
So 3-3. Pretty much our expectation heading into this game would be an even half, and that's exactly what took place. Both teams trading blows. Joe and Nina especially entertaining on the entry, trading blows once again. Pretty ambitious from Northeption on their final defense. They jumped out so many times, 3 in total. Reven just clean up elsewhere. Good way to close out the attacking half for Reven, and it sets us up for a tantalizing second half.
Oh, certainly is. I think that's a very apt use of that word. Big change up here, though, from Northeption, and looking to bring the fuse. So, this is going to be very intriguing. Snow 1 we go.
5 seconds
How are we expecting Reven to play this? And I would say, can we get the Joe cam? Because I feel like Joe is the one that's going to go for some kind of run out, some kind of play. There's Sharif on the fuse coming into this round. He has struggled, 1 and 6, and he is very much one of their star players. It's him and Nina. So far, it's all just Nina.
I'm scared. I can't see Joe, so I'm getting a bit scared. Okay, it's all right. He's down below.
He's in the building.
He's not near a window, which was
Not yet.
Yeah, which has been the tale of the day. Northeption going for a library across and draw. Playing initial contact, might look to find a couple of drones, 3 of which have already been dealt with by the defense. That one's spotted out, but Joe can't claim it. Draw repositions over towards games, and that allows Northeption to get control up above. Draw will hear this though, so he can give that information across to the rest of the team, and the question will be how aggressive does he want to play around this portion of the map, keeping in mind it is basement, so he falls back.
And keep in mind, Reven probably don't have to get too over-aggressive. Northeption, a part of that APAC ecosystem we're attacking, apparently just doesn't come naturally anymore. So you probably don't have to do a whole lot.
Oh,
Runner, has he been misdroned here? Just holds out at half wall, and he can cause some real damage.
A bomb has been located.
Especially considering it's a big library stack as well for Northeption. Over towards the mezzanine. I have no idea. Red ping, easy kill. Sayachan loses his life. It's only 1 for now. 1 and done, but Runner will live up to his name and run away. 90 seconds left. I'll take the early player advantage. Taking care of Sayachan. And again, more cluster charges will go out from Sharif, but no one even in the vicinity.
I don't mind that from Runner. Secures 1 safe kill. He could have stayed longer, could have had a bigger impact later on in the round, but he then runs the risk of other defenders on site being overwhelmed. So that's nice. Good level of disruption. Northeption now in the 4v5, shaping up for a plant at Snowmobile. Good deep drone from Favor, but I don't know if anyone's going to be able to play off that information, at least initially. Wrath.
Oh, he's going for it.
Down the line, but it's Sharif to win it out.
That's a big, big kill. Yes, he had the yellow ping, he had the information, but Wrath was holding that close angle. 1 misfire, and you will lose your life. And there goes the fireplace stairs push. Sam gets the kill onto Yuki's. Firmly on site for Reven. They're basically saying to Northeption, if you want to win this round, you're going to have to push into us. You're going to have to attack. We're not going to give you anything. Sharif in snow. Nina still above. 30 seconds. Opens up a breach here above. Sharif finds a second. Let him cook indeed. Maybe this is his round. He's still got a very nice angle here from the shelf as Northeption are making a push in. Nina up close in storage, finds the kill. Northeption are starting to just steal this round away from Reven. Joe, can he deny plant? Yes, he can. The player at the shelf, though, it's Sharif. Ooh, finally gets himself going on Chalet. Sharif has arrived.
Just in the slow cooker. Took a little bit of time, but finally, he turned on his monitor. He's back. Did a good job over towards main stairs. He gets that entry. That was key. They needed the stairs position cleared so they could go deep for the plant. And then he holds on not only while the plant's going down, but also in the post.
It felt like Reven did everything right in that round too. The mist drone originally up above, so you kind of get that free kill. Runner able to then get back to site to 5.4, and then you're holding site from then onwards. Obviously, allowing that drone through the main breach and being able to spot out the player bot fireplace stairs. That was a bit of a miss from Reven. Sharif took the 1v1. He had the intel of the yellow ping and played it really well. That kind of then opened up side a little bit. And the pressure from Wine was far too stagnant. A little bit much of it just to sort of run either through storage or got shot through the holes back in towards Wine. So Reven didn't really have much else. Once that main breach got very much vulnerable in the shell position gained by Sharif, they couldn't really do a whole lot to stop that round. 4-3 and an arm wrestle. I feel like here in Chalet starting to develop after, I guess, 2 maps, 7-1, 7-4, that were a little bit more one-sided. This one certainly to me feels like it's going back and forth.
Reloading.
So bar games we go then, round 8. Mirror up above on the extension, deployable shield, top library stairs, and frost mats also deployed, scattered around the map. Oh, this is aggressive. Up close on the window. Does Sharif know? Well, probably not, but draw Alex not to aggress. Falls back towards site, and Northeption can continue on their checklist.
Yeah, very aggressive. Gave up on that one pretty quickly. Probably felt like, yeah, I shouldn't be in this position. Critical rounds. Both teams. Oh, this is big from Nina, though. Oh, there you go. There's the mirror looking in towards library. That's going to make that position a little bit more vulnerable for Runner on the mezzanine. And understanding now he can get pressure as well from main entrance. He can be very wary of those fireplace stairs as well. Nina still having that drone there. A lot of pressure over towards library. Reven not wanting to give up this vert control above bar games. Joe kind of just kind of locks in and says, okay, well, let's at least lock down this main lobby position.
Yeah. If I'm Runner, I'm starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable at the moment, but Northeption need to apply at least a little bit more pressure. Favor wants to jump in, but Draw watching it on the vert. Minute 30 on the clock. Draw can just hold down the line. Joe, who is roaming elsewhere, makes his way back towards site. Sharif to get the first, though. Nina as well.
On to Joe.
So that's great for Northeption, and now the ball is in the court of Reven to form a response.
Oh, Sam, he spots the drone coming. Big window. He's got to be careful of Yuki's outside the piano balcony. They both just kind of trade a little bit in terms of damage. Sharif, Nina, and Yuki is all low on health, so definitely still winnable for Reven. Nina through kitchen. Takes out the West Main default. And a push now from Sam. Does this work? Does this catch someone off guard? Feather taking that diffuser, most likely through library. Sharif on the mezzanine, feeling like they've got control here. And Draw, evidently feeling the pressure. Northeption looking to get some separation once again on the scoreboard to go up 5-3. 30 seconds to go. Drone gets taken out. Only one more drone available for Northeption still in this round, but it's Reven's ability to just sort of reposition here. Northeption are not quite sure where these players are. Sam, one opportunity, and he takes out Feather. That's diffuser on the floor at big window.
It's also 2 defenders, though, inside of basement, but hold on, it might not matter if Wrath can hold down site. 10 seconds on the clock. Draw, trying to get back towards the objective, taken low. Now a 2v2, finally cleaned up, but it's Wrath.
Time.
Bar back store with 3 seconds on the clock.
No
Mows
time,
down the
no time.
first, and Yukis can't find the trade.
Oh.
Reven holding on.
Oh, just barely. Reven.
Yeah, let's go basement.
Well, I think we know where they're going now. Well, I mean, that is a big round. That is huge. That is the kind of round where Reven probably had no business in winning that. Feather, if he doesn't die, coming in big window through into mezzanine with the diffuser. They've got time then to get that diffuser down onto site because they pretty much had site control. You know, we saw Draw running around bot library. The only thing that I think Reven still basically had was the barback store. That was about it. And then obviously he still got a couple of kills. It was a 2 versus 1, just no time. Yukis goes for the angle, goes for the spray. So close, and look what it means for Reven. Because that was a big round, and they were just moments away from being 2 rounds down. Now, the scores are even. Once again, it's 4-4.
Only a couple of seconds in it. Yeah, Reven just doing enough off-site. Despite the roamers being trapped and not being able to get back towards the objective, it was the time drain that proved very costly
10 seconds remaining.
for the Japanese roster. So 4-4 the scoreline.
5 seconds to
And
insertion.
the pressure just amps up to another level.
mate.
Just finds another
I need
gear.
a heart rate monitor at this point. This has been one entertaining game. Is it A+ quality siege? Probably not. Is it entertaining? Yeah, certainly. 4-4. Both teams 3 rounds away from heading into the next stage of the major. Potentially heading home. Draw. He hasn't quite gone for the Joe impression of the run out. Nina still firmly winning that battle against Joe, 10-5. He's been absolutely massive in this series. Definitely the MVP, win or lose for my mind. And Draw just will send him back. Joe, what else has he got cooking up?
Looking for intel.
So 2 minutes on the clock then remaining. Northeption with some decent control on the top floor. The fuse once again being employed by Sharif. To send those clusters down the main stairs to potentially clear any utility stack there, especially if he himself wants to push it later on in the round. And we saw him be a key win condition last time for Northeption, unlocking the side and helping get that plant down.
And what you see there as well from that second cluster charge is it basically acts soft breach. Just opens up those floorboards, it opens up the site. So you can see how much damage that's actually gone and done. Just above the bomb chassis as well. So 90 seconds left, 5 versus 5 at the very least here. I think Northeption have done okay. They got themselves some decent map presence, but they haven't really gone for the battle against these roamers, especially Runner on the Solus. To be fair, only 2 drones have actually been eliminated. They're just firmly focused on site, and I think that might come back to bite them.
A bomb has been located.
Runner then still up above, posturing through kitchen drawer as well, West Main. Main breach open from Northeption, but have they been distracted elsewhere? Where is that secondary pressure going to come from? I think a lot of it rests on Nina to perhaps make a play through Trench or down through West Main, maybe main garage. A couple of options available. Sharif as well. Sits in wait, main stairs. Favor has the diffuser in hands. He may elect to follow, so they're just going to ignore main breach and probably go for a plant next to the shelf.
Can't be this one-dimensional, though. They've got to have something elsewhere.
Oh, Sharif now has it.
One more cluster from Sharif. 25 seconds left. Diffuser in hand. Flashes go out as well. Bot library. Sharif over towards the shelf. Is he being protected enough, though? Is this going to be able to be stuck the whole way through? That's the main part of the win condition here. It will. Still over towards the shelf. Gets the shot from the Joe. He's down. Nitrocell goes out too late from Wrath. Doesn't even make it over. And Runner's on the floor, too. So only Wrath and Draw. Draw's going for the revival, though, and can get both of them back up. But there's not a lot of time. Sharif with the kill onto Wrath. In through storage now. Draw goes. Spots the diffuser. One outside the main breach. Sharif prone. Big kill onto Joe. It's only Draw in a 1v3. Not going to happen. It's a very successful attack from Northeption, and they are now just 2 rounds away from sending Reven out of this series, out of this game, out of this tournament.
No, Sharif is that guy on basement again. Big impact. Unfortunate there for Joe. I'd love to know how he didn't see that plane go down or hear the sound cue. Obviously, a lot going on, so easy to miss. But he allowed that cross and then got caught off guard, and Sharif was able to fall back, drops back outside the breach, confirms the round. Northeption satisfied with that, and if I heard correctly, Reven not very keen to go back downstairs.
No, and Sharif started 1-6, Gus. He's now 8-7. So he's gone 7-1 since the 1-6 moment. He has very much turned on the cooker. 5-4, 1 round away from series point, from phase 2 point for Northeption. But every time they've been able to sort of get away from Reven here on Chalet, Reven have responded and responded quite abruptly as well. So something to keep in mind. It's not going to be a foregone conclusion here.
Seconds remaining.
But this is where the pressure really just ramps up. Now if you're Reven, you can't put a whole lot wrong. You can't go for these super wicked, crazy runouts if you're Joe, because if it falls, then you're down a player defensively. So you've kind of got to be a little bit more mindful in the way you want to approach these rounds. 5-4. And you're spot at the major on the line.
Yeah, I do wonder if the risk tolerance from Reven is going to shift towards the back end of this match. Are we going to see as much aggression, knowing that the stakes are so high and the room for error so small?
Gemini.
Looks like Joe's pretty keen though.
Joined him.
Spots the Gemini, takes it down, falls back, not wanting to play box.
Yeah, very close to actually not checking that corner was Yuki's. Went for the run through, didn't quite check, was more worried about top library, but does do the little 180 flick, does spot him out. We'll see whether or not Joe wants to potentially engage on this, but it is a good entry over towards top library. Joe, obviously, he's going to be one to keep an eye on in this round. He is very much their linchpin in getting these early kills, these impactful kills. Nina outside main entrance. Eventually might just make his way down below where Joe actually is. Are we about to see Nina and Joe once again? And Nina is primed for this. I don't think Joe will win this one. I think Joe's about to get an awful surprise from Nina in the back. Nina again is going to haunt him all night tonight in his dreams. 5 versus 4. Once again, Northeption have the advantage courtesy of Nina.
Oh, it's been such a great duel to watch those two go at it, but Sharif, the jump out from draw connects. Decent control, strong control for Reven still up above. Runner peeking over towards the balcony. Favor has protection from the Claymore, but will likely still want to get a foothold. To talk about foothold, it's Yuki's through the breach. Piano, though, still being locked down. Well, not anymore. A 4v2 and Northeption edging towards series point.
And this is where you have your kind of heart in mouth. If you're Sam, if you're Draw, there's definitely still a winnable way in this round. 2 versus 4, not impossible. Yuki's low on health. You got to back yourselves in to hit some big time shots here. A lot of pressure over towards that main lobby. Sam still holding the angle. Oh, he got off it for a split second. That's allowed him through. And Sayachan with a sick headshot as well. Draw over towards Piano. The battle over towards Half-Wall. 12 by Yuki's. Northeption are 1 round away from heading to phase 2.
And timeout, Reven. This has got to be their best timeout of the tournament. We mentioned it, I think, earlier today. There is a very strong correlation in Rainbow Six Siege between tactical timeouts and teams then being able to increase their performance. But it now needs to be faultless from Reven the next 2 rounds to head this to overtime. No opportunity to slip up. And I gotta say, Northeption, last couple of rounds have been pretty damn good.
Look at Sharif. I gotta say though, no team in this match of Chalet has won 3 rounds in a row. Northeption have just won 2 in a row. So some historical data at the very least. That's quite interesting to keep in mind. They're going to have to buck the trend here if they want to win this one out 7-4. And off the back of a tactical timeout, you would imagine on the defense, Reven should be able to respond here. All eyes on them. But all eyes on Northeption as well. Can they be the first APAC team to qualify from phase 1 into phase 2? And to be the first APAC team to send another region home. Rather than, APAC getting sent home.
Yeah, I got it, don't worry. Look, to be fair...
Ooh, bar games.
To be fair, Japan locally as a region, very strong. They've had their issues internationally,
Attackers have discovered the location
but
of
that
the bomb.
experience, there's been a shifting of the tide, really, in Japanese Siege. Northeption now given their opportunity on this stage.
Barrel as well.
And given their experience, they really should be taking down Reven, right? These guys sort of have come out of nowhere, really, to take LATAM by storm to get their spot here. And they're putting up a great fight. So I think, irrespective of the result, both of these teams have really put their heart and soul in this first stage and have done themselves really proud.
Oh, that's so nice of you guys.
That may be the most wholesome thing I've said in my 22 years on this planet.
And guess what? For all of that heart and soul, one of them's still going home.
Oh,
So it doesn't matter.
well, that was not very nice.
No, it's not. 6-4. Northeption looking to book their ticket to phase 2. to join their brethren in Scars. History between those two teams, of course, back in the SI APAC closed quals.
Well, and
Northeption beat Scars 2-0.
Northeption are in phase 1 because they lost to Scars. Let's hold that thought for a moment, though. Draw rewarded this time. We've seen him go prone under double window library in the past without much success, but this time gets the opening kill for Reven, who, fresh off that tactical timeout, are looking to keep this map alive.
Yeah, and last time he didn't really get spotted either. He got the free rotate back to Barbak's store, so he was able to get away without giving away that position, without that knowledge. So obviously they were able to sort of bank on that being a good little win condition in this round. 5 versus 4. And a little bit of a holding of your breath moment here for these two teams. So much of the presence for Reven inside of library. That is where they are wanting to really hold this down. They will either die for this position or they will lose this position.
Yeah, double stack in the corner. That may be tough to clear, so Northeption are going to look to exploit elsewhere. Draw does drop down. Still though, one up above. Favor will want to be mindful of that, but Nina just pushes forward, gets the first runner. Lucky to survive, seeks refuge behind the deployable shield and just gets there in time.
Yeah, but it's not like the pressure is just going to suddenly go away. Draw has to help out. That's a wonderful shot from Draw. Takes out Nina, who was starting to cause some real havoc. Fortifies that position at the mezzanine as well. Forerunner, who just barely stayed alive. And gives Reven the numbers advantage again. 4 versus 3, 60 seconds left in the round. 2 match points for Northeption. Sayachan will send in the Rotero from big window to clear out this shield at the mezzanine in front of the fireplace. Sam, top library. Still a lot of work to do for Northeption in this round, and not a lot of time to do it.
And Favor's still outside on library. Balk
See you on the other side.
will look to finally open up this position onto Mez. Put runner under pressure, but Sam to cover. Watching double window. In prime position to find a kill, and with 30 seconds to go, Northeption will start to get desperate.
And the two attacking star men of Northeption are the ones that are flicking cams at the moment. Nina and Sharif. 20 seconds left. Sam starts to think about, okay, maybe it's not going to come from top library. Maybe it's going to come from down below. Who cares? In that dining hall, he'll swing. He'll meet Sam at the library. That's 3 in the round for Draw. Wrath responds as well with the final kill of the round. This one's not over yet. 6-5, one more match point for Northeption. Reven needing to send this one to overtime.
And I was just about to ask, do Northeption respond with attack of their own? And that's exactly what they will do for the final round of regulation to prep themselves. Reven heading into this one took theirs, looked very stable. A great start from Draw, who is running around the map, causing chaos. 3 in the round for him.
One more round.
So
Come
a
on.
great response. And they say it themselves, just one more round to extend this map.
Yeah. I mean, it's that one round at a time mentality. It would have been in the last round off the back of the tactical timeout into this one now as well. Northeption. And even though you're leading and even though you've got the match point, you've got to be nervous here because you've got to be thinking about the fact that are we about to throw 2 match points to go to phase 2? To let them get into overtime? That's something to think about. You know, it's mentally draining, you know, because again, if you're the likes of Nina, Sharif, you want to make things happen. You can't get too overzealous though. 6-5, match point. Reven need to send this one to overtime if they are to continue their stay here at the Copenhagen Major. One of these two teams are about to go home in the next 10 minutes. Can't prolong it for much longer.
Yeah. So the basement we go. Match point still in the hands of Northeption, who have looked pretty good on this objective, it must be said. Sayachan has been the man on this site. He's unlocked main stairs. He's allowed the plant to go down time and time again. So we sit with bated breath to see if Reven can formulate a response. They were deep in discussion during Northeption's tactical timeout, using that to their advantage as well.
5 seconds to go.
Decent start with a couple of drones taken down, and that may enable, again, the likes of Joe to roam around, to have an impact, to open up the account for Reven.
Yeah, and even for Runner as well. We've seen him start to get involved, especially here on Chalet. 3 drones eliminated in the prep phase, so that's pretty good. work from Reven, especially with the Solos employed. Joe, there you go, and it's on to Nina. Oh, he likes that one. And that is exactly what Reven needs. You get rid of the Starman, and you get rid of one of their hard breaches. Of the three, though, 3 hard breaches brought into the round, so I guess forget that one. But mainly, the fact that they got the kill onto Nina, of all players, that's the one. And of course, it had to be Joe.
So Snowmobile opened up, not being heavily contested there from Wrath with the Electro Claws. Easy to deal with that. Thatcher in the hands of Seochan. But now the real difficulties will begin to arise in the 4v5. How do you, as Northeption, go about clearing the map? Sharif looks confident, though. Top floor control seemingly obtained here from Northeption. They'll need to be careful of the retake, though. I would not be shocked if Reven tried to re-aggress back up above, especially when Northeption have their sights set on the objective.
As the clock ticks down, maybe the chances of Northeption winning out here in regulation might just tick down with it. Sharif, good control, fireplace stairs, but a beautiful swing from Joe. Replaced by Yukiz, in towards the shot position, and Sam wasn't aware of it. Into storage he sits for now, a minute 20. Yukiz probably needed to get a kill from there, and he does. Top fireplace. That's a double kill as well, because Seochan got the kill onto draw. Sam, inside storage with Joe over towards blue in a 2 versus 3. Forever low health, same with Yukiz.
Joe's been so good this round. He's looked composed. Nitro still in the pocket with a minute to go. Northeption just need to remain composed, looking to try and open up that hatch or at minimum a line of sight. They've gotten the Electro Claw off, so Con could be a play late in the round, and they still have time to work with. It's about extracting that time, making the most of it here. Northeption formulating their plan for the final push to look to close out the series.
Sweaty palms moment for Joe. Has to hold his position. Forced off it ever so slightly. Knows there's one left side. What a tap from Joe. Knows there's another to the right. Feather. Now in a 2 versus 1. Sam went up above. Now it's a 1v1, but it's an EDD. Are you kidding me? What the hell? An EDD decides the round and we go to overtime. What the hell am I watching?
Oh, you couldn't script this. You couldn't. Oh, the EDD to close it out and Reven stay alive.
Oh. And just imagine you put yourself in the position of Joe there. He knows there's 2 at the main breach, 1 on either side. You know if you mess up and if you die without getting at least 1, that's it. That's the round over. That's your spot at the major. And what an opening kill from Joe. Those shots are not easy. These plays are not easy. To hold the nerve and the steel in these moments. Just trades back and forth. And to be a fan of either of these 2 teams, it's just heart and mouth stuff and an EDD to decide it. I love it.
I love it too.
Raw passion.
Yeah.
6-6, overtime for map 3. Winner moves through to phase 2, and the loser goes home.
5 seconds to go.
Heartbreak then for Northeption.
Attackers objective.
Quite literally tripping at the final hurdle, the EDD. And they use their tactical timeout heading into that final round of regulations. They can't fall back on that. It's on the team, on the leaders on this roster to recompose the troops and prepare themselves for attack. It's been 50-50, so sides are pretty much irrelevant at this point in time. Both sides are continuing on where they left off. Nina, it's been such a duel between him and Joe so far in this game. The question will be who wins it out this time.
Joe, oh, this is a very open position, but he moves forward from the nade rather than away from Sharif. Oh, what a shot! Sit down, Joe. Try again in the next round. 5 versus 4. Now Reven on the back foot here early into OT.
Tell you what, this is some good siege. Both teams giving it their all. Runner under pressure. He's been holding this position with so much resilience throughout this game. Often being bombarded with utility. Often having his mirrors popped open by Nina with the shock drone, and he's looking to do it once again. So we'll see how Runner responds, throwing out a magnet, so he might get got caught off guard. He was reloading. He was blocking it.
got the
But
mirror.
Nina gets it just in time. Let's see what Runner can do now.
90 seconds left. First round of OT. Who's going to get that overtime match point? Nitrocell up from draw, but it misses the mark. Double stack over towards backstore as well. Runner's down. So Reven, unfortunately, losing players, losing position as well, up towards the mezzanine. Now vulnerable in towards top library. In a 5 versus 3, where's the response from Sam, from Draw, from Wrath? Who's going to be able to find that next kill to at least get them back into this round? Sharif still watching for below, watching for a flank. Sam, does he push out through logs? 60 seconds left, holds. And there's even more information being gained here by Northeption. The push-up fireplace, there's Sharif! 3 kills in the round! He has awoken when they needed him the most. And Northeption might have squandered 2 regular match points, but they're about to get 2 overtime match points. Wrath in a 1v5. But right now, the only wrath being felt is from Northeption. Match point once again.
Really clinical clear there up above. Mezzanine dealt with, library vacated. And really the only thing left standing was bar back store. We cast our minds back to regulation. Northeption did struggle with that previously, but they had such an overwhelming presence this time, it really didn't matter. This gunfight was key. Sam in a wrap position, but nonetheless, Nina allowed to push forward. And then it was the cleanup crew from Northeption. They are pumped, they are up and about, and they are 1 round away from the second phase.
1 round away from sending Reven home. They'll basically get 2 match points once again. Of course, they faltered the first time. As you said, quite literally tripping on that final hurdle. But 2 more opportunities. 1 will be on the defense. It's Snow Wine. If they lose this, they'll attack 1 more time. And I feel like, I'm gonna say it, but this match kind of needs to go to the 15th round. It would only be fitting, it would only be fair. But it's fair to Northeption that they'll get at least an extra opportunity here. Reven must now win 2 rounds in a row to head to phase 2, or they're going home.
So then, as we prepare ourselves for what may be the final round, it's basement. And for me, it's all eyes on Joe. He's been up and down, but when he's on, when he gets that first pick, he's able to shut down Nina again, puts the rest of the team on a platform. But it can't just be him. Reven cannot rely solely on Joe. They'll open up the main wall, not contested by the defense. No mute in play, no Kaid or Bandit either. Runner inside of Mud, barricaded off. Sharif to play contact. Probably wants to fall off.
No, you're kidding me. The script writers, hello, are you behind the curtain? It's Joe onto Nina again.
I tell you what, insane. 2 minutes then, and it's Northeption under pressure, under the pump. From this position, time and time again, Reven have looked good. They've been classy in the way in which they have closed out rounds.
And Northeption are on the back foot here into this first overtime match point. Down 3 versus 5, they're gonna have to pull it back. Otherwise, we will get that magical 15th round. More information gained for Feather. Through trophy up towards Solar. Is there going to be a response? He's droned out. His position is well and truly known. EE1D, just pressure all around the map. Nitrocell doesn't hit from Yukiz. Shots not landing, only for one side. Finally, Joe gets sat down. 3 versus 4, drop down. And maybe still a chance for Northeption with a bit of time. They could get themselves back into this round.
2 players a long way away from sight, so Saya-chan needs to try and lock it down. Reven could look to exploit, but just doing their due diligence, ensuring that no one can flank through dining, no one can flank up West Main. Draw now can get to work on the vert, put pressure down in towards Wine Cellar. There's 60 seconds available here for Reven. That's a lot of time to work with. And look at their utility. They have nades, they have flashes, they have smokes. This will be tough for Northeption.
Well, Feather's got a nade as well. Mirror has been broken. It's a big stack for Reven. They can play close, play tight, almost death ball onto sight and just sort of overwhelm. Northeption still with probably a little bit more of that vert advantage. Sayachan inside of Wine, pops his gas babe. 2 more to go, something to keep in mind.
Where's the flank for Favor? It's got to be close by now. There he is, up above, playing Overwatch on the balcony. He gets one. No one re-peeks though, so we're 2v3 for the final push.
Double stack fireplace there. Smoke goes out, push through the gas pipe. Yukis loses his life. Now it's a 1 versus 3 for the Soulless Fever from above. All he really has to do is deny the plant. He gets a little bit of information, opens up the floorboard, but from below it's Sam, and we will go all the way to the 15th round of the third map to decide which of these two teams will move forward or go home. We need one more round.
They've attacked it so many times, so that's the thing.
Tell you what, quite literally.
I don't want it to end.
It quite literally can't get any closer without Max OT. And it's been an attacking haven here in overtime. Reven got the first two. Critically, Joe shut down Nina. And despite the best efforts from Northeption, they could not recover the round. Favor, valiant attempt on the flank, but just not enough, too late in the round.
You just picture yourself as one of these players right now going into this round knowing that you're only a couple of minutes away from either going home or going through to phase 2, extending your stay here at the major quite substantially. Will this be yet another APAC team sent home? Will it be a different region for the first time at the major that will be packing their bags? Overtime match point, 15th round. Let's settle this one. Or maybe we could just send Joe and Nina out for a 1v1 and the winner of that wins the map, because I tell you what, it might just come down to that one more time.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Who have you got?
I think Northeption, just. I'm not going to sit on the fence. I think they've looked good on this site and done a decent job previously, clearing out the likes of Library and Mezzanine. There's been a lot of pressure applied to those positions, and Reven have struggled to respond, and a lot of that has rested on this shock drone. But it gets shut down. Now, in the past, Nina's been able to get his way up, get information, clear util. Now, there's not necessarily the mirror in play this time, but perhaps mine magnets, for instance, would have been vulnerable.
Yeah, the Banshee at the front entrance as well gets destroyed by the Rotero. So the final round of Group C, Sonics are already through. Who's going to join them from this group? Northeption or Reven? 2 minutes on the clock. Sharif on the balcony, outside Library. Wrath tucked in close. Very, very perilous position. Neither team is really going to want to put a foot wrong, but also you don't want to be too stagnant. You don't want to just allow Northeption to just get a whole lot of map control to get those opening kills. Looking to flush out this position. Flash, and look at that, any semblance of pressure. Wrath just gives up on it immediately, drops. That's Library clear, but you still got the mezzanine to deal with.
Well, the nades didn't even land, so he probably could have held that position anyway, but nonetheless, Bar Backstore has been a bit of a haven for Wrath, so he can lock that down in the late round, and there's still presence up above. Runner, Mezzanine, but Nina is sneaking through Dining. Doesn't find his man and will fall back.
Well, he's got to understand he's the one to do those kind of plays. As nervous as you would be, as scary as it would to go for it and risk losing your life early, Nina knows he's going to be the one that has to get that opening kill. Minute 12. The onus is on Northeption. They have to push. They have to set the tempo. Reven are happy to just sit back. This is the one round where you can just sit back, hold angles, Runner went for a run, and he gets stopped dead in his tracks. Yukis, though, loses his life as Joe gets the trade. Top Library, 1 minute left.
Big trade, big trade. Sharif now looking to find a trade for himself, but he spots Sam in Bar Backstore.
Traded.
Joe again.
Joe.
3v3. 40 seconds on the clock. Joe looking ultra composed, locked in. Draw as well, offsite, so maybe Northeption can look to be a little bit more direct, but Nina still lurking around.
Oh.
No one's watching the default, so he might be able to sneak up.
It's down to Joe and Nina. Now he's been yellow pinged, so Joe knows that he's pushing down below. One swing could just about end Northeption's time at the major. Joe gets the last laugh against Nina. 2 versus 3. Northeption are down to just Fever and Seochan. They had 2 chances. They had 4 chances overall to win this map. Down to just Fever. No time. He does have the diffuser. No chance. Reven are about to do it. They're about to break the hearts of Japan. Break the hearts of APAC. They've pulled it off. 4 match points dealt with, and they go through to phase 2.
Celebrations for Reven in the most hard-fought match we've had at the major thus far. Heartbreak for Northeption, who thought they probably had it. But Reven, right at the end, just good enough. So many close 50-50 duels that could have gone either way, but they just remain that a little bit more composed and rightfully have earned their spot in phase 2.
And it's another APAC team that goes home as well. That's going to be the story, however you want to ride it. That's going to be a focus. But obviously Northeption, they don't go down lightly. They went out swinging, but they had opportunities. 4 of them, Gus. 4 match points, 2 in regulation, 2 basically in overtime. And every single time, Reven held on to their credit. They move forward. They'll join Sonics out of Group C. What a match. Arguably, in my mind, probably the best that we've had at the major thus far.
Yeah, I mean, it was so close and competitive. I mean, we mentioned earlier, right? It's not A plus Siege. It's not the kind of level you're going to see at the grand final.
No.
But it was close. It was competitive.
It's entertaining. It was fun.
Yeah, both teams fought hard, and they did bring enough to the table to counter their opponents from time to time. Map 1, pretty dominant in favor of Northeption.
7-1.
Then flipped to Reven, and then the last map was a true tug of war.
Yeah, and obviously you think back about that first map, 7-1, absolute demolition. Northeption dominated on Skyscraper. Oregon, okay, we saw a little bit of a tussle first half, 3-3, and then evidently from there, Reven started to get their groove. To think on Oregon, they were down 3-1 after losing the first map. From that point onwards, they really started to find themselves a little bit more, started to get more comfortable in the server. But, I mean, this final map of Chalet basically had it all, and it was the Joe and Nina show for me. That was the most entertaining aspect. And to think in the final round, it came down to that little position at Library Stairs. If Nina wins that fight, I think they win the round. If Joe wins that fight, I think they win the round. Joe wins that fight, and he had the yellow ping advantage at the very least. We'll give that to Joe, unfortunate for Nina. But, I mean, what a game. I think if you're Northeption, you can't be too down on yourself. Obviously, some will say they choked a couple of leads, a couple of overtime match points, but I mean, that was a very, very hotly contested game. Both teams could have gone through in the end. Reven pull out, and deservedly so.
Yeah, I want to see some claps in the chat for the scriptwriter, because you couldn't have written it any better. 2 players in their prime going toe-to-toe, having such an influence on this game and the performance of the rest of the roster. And I think going forward now for Reven, the storyline is, how far can this dream run go? We have seen teams in the past pop out of nowhere and have a big impact on the international stage of Rainbow Six.
That's true.
And who knows how far Reven can make it from here.
And thinking about it as well, Reven were pretty competitive in my mind against Sonics. I mean, Sonics got the better of them in the end. I think it was 7-4, but there were some really close rounds where Reven didn't quite get the round win, but they had got themselves into some positions to win those rounds. So even against a team like Sonics, they honestly held their own. And obviously against, Northeption, it was basically a 50-50 when it came down to it. If you go to the 15th round of the 3rd map, yeah, it is going to be a pretty even matchup. And yeah, what a finish. And look what it means to them as well. And we saw obviously some of the celebrations when they brought back some of those match point disadvantages, I guess, for their sake. They really got into it. And obviously for Northeption, the same as well. You could see the passion from both teams. And it also means you could see the heartbreak for Northeption. So commiserations to them. But Reven, they rise to the occasion to deal with 4 match points. That to me is the biggest selling point. I hold that in high regard. I think that's a really good showing from them for their mental fortitude in a game like this, an elimination game, to survive 4 match points. They deserve to go to phase 2.
And it's a performance like that typically you would expect from a roster that has experience at this level. These guys simply do not. So the fact they held on, they remained composed. They had a lot of difficult and hard to take losses throughout this series. Map 3, no exception. So to bounce back, very, very impressive. And now they have a couple of days break to refine their game heading into phase 2. And if they can sort of tidy up the edges and maybe take it to teams at the same level, if not better, than Sonics, I mean, I'd be pretty scared to verse them.
Yeah, I certainly would. Underdog story developing for Reven into phase 2. And over to Ginny now, who's got an interview with Draw.
Hi, thanks guys. We have Draw here from Reven. First of all, congratulations. You're confirmed in phase 2, which means you're here for a couple more days. You get to scrim a little bit more, but I want to talk about that first map. I want to talk about Skyscraper. I want to start off with, you lose the game 7-1, but then you just bounce back. You end up securing your spot in phase 2. How did that happen? What was the situation like with the team?
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what happened.
Fair enough.
Sky should have been our best map, like, out of these 3.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened.
That's okay. No worries.
That was just crazy.
It was a warm-up. So you get onto Oregon, and it looks much better. And then that final game, it goes to all the way OT possible. So in that regards, when you're sitting here as a 5-man as a team and you know it's only one round away from either being home or being onto phase 2, what's the communication like? What were the comms like?
Obviously a bit of nerve, but I mean, we have to win it, so just play like we used to play, take our gunfight. Don't need to do like some crazy things.
Yeah. Confidence was very high, especially amongst Joe. He was just popping off.
It's Joe.
It's
like,
Joe.
Even without confidence, he's gonna do it. So.
Fair enough. You guys have a couple of days to relax, probably scrim other teams. So
Yeah.
what's the main idea? What's your perfect day in Copenhagen would look like?
We wake up, breakfast.
Do you like the breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually good.
The pancakes are really nice.
Living in Mexico for like 2 months, when you come back in EU, like you can just enjoy.
Yeah, the pancakes are really good.
Yeah. So yeah, breakfast. We play some ranked. Depends what time we start screaming. Scream.
Yeah.
A little break. Scream again, and then we can chill for the rest of the night.
A little bit of exploring, maybe.
Not yet, but.
Okay. They're excited. Well, that's the LAN atmosphere, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be heading over to a break, and we'll be back.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was really...
When you have two teams from the same region going up against one another, you're best friends. But in the server, you want that win. You want it so bad.
Our two Brazilian teams in the grand final for the first time ever. Ninjas in pajamas!
Some tournaments you have a better feeling about winning, and that one, it was ours.
Our second Brazilian team, Team Liquid!
NIP was very well prepared. They were like top 1 team in Brazil.
It goes to Brazil no matter who wins it, but for NIP, it means a lot.
We lost to SSG a year before, and then we knew like in our hearts that this invitation we need to win, you know.
It was a very difficult time for us as a team.
It was pretty hard, like especially because of what happened to me at the moment. Like I lost my dad during the competition.
In that final, I think Liquid kind of won people's hearts because of the tragedy that had happened, but because they had also played incredibly well throughout the tournament and through the grand final. They gave us an incredibly entertaining game.
Psycho goes big with 4 kills to push them over the line on Cafe, and that is going to be NIP 2-0 on maps. There you go, the kill comes in. He knew exactly where the man was coming from, and that's going to be Team Liquid taking our second map of Chalet. Palu, 1 second left to go. Diffuser goes down in the absolute nick of time, but Moringa, he gets a huge kill, Des! He gets a huge kill! We're going all the way to 5. We're going to find out who really is the best in Brazil. Palu cannot find the kill. Out comes the Nitro. Shot out by Pino. That is the round in 2020. Brazilian hearts were broken, but like a phoenix, NIP rise from the ashes to claim the hammer at the 6th Invitational 2021.
It was one of the best days of my life. I think we can compare that as a Brazilian team winning the World Football Cup.
I think winning the 6th Invitational was the best feeling ever I had.
Was the best moment of my life in the sports scene for sure. I was crying a lot. I was out of control.
We were very sad to lose, but we understood the limits of the team at the time, and we were very proud. But also it was very nice to see another Brazilian get a title.
After that SI, like I think it was a motivated thing to grow as a region and make it through a lot of other tournaments.
At the end of the day, everyone is just friendly. So yeah, we have a very nice relationship.
The friendships run deep and it goes beyond shouting and cheering on stage. You know, all of that is part and parcel of this. It's a respect that is given and earned between these players.
It's an awesome feeling for everyone, you know, not just us. We win for everyone.
They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is